Good evening or good afternoon to everyone who is listening to us. And here we are again on our podcast, Change Management in 20 Minutes. So I will be your host today. My name is Yulia, and also together with me, we do have our co-host Jaren. And also, again, we are inviting for the second time our invited speaker, Ernar. So if you guys caught our last episode, then you should have noticed that last episode we were talking about the relationship between project management and change management. So today we are going to dive deeper into this interrelation and going to unfold many interesting things for you as we go deeper into the topic. So hi Jaren, hi Ernar.
Hello, Yulia. This is a very interesting topic, so I'm very excited.
Yeah,
Hello,
same here.
Hello, Jaren. Hello, Yulia. Glad to be back. I'm interested in this topic too, so let's dive in.
Absolutely. So let's just start here. So last time we talked for 20 minutes or so about the complementary nature of project and change management as professions. So today, I think we can start from understanding how these disciplines really influence each other. So maybe Ernar, as a long-term project management professional, maybe you would like to start?
Yeah, let me just share my screen. I wanted to indicate to show you something interesting for our listeners also. As you may know, project management is governed by the gigantic project management body of knowledge. It's a very famous book, body of knowledge, not book, of course. And it contains the standard for project management. Currently, there is a 7th edition. We all loved 6th edition, but right now it's 7th edition. And Julia might elaborate on status of the 8th edition, which is under construction, under development right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wanted to show you the emphasis that PMI, Project Management Institute, is showing in the PMBOK 7. So many projects contain the aspect of changing systems, and PMI has recommended to project management managers around the world how to deal with the changes, and ATCAR model is inside of the PMBOK guide, which show us the interest of PMI into the change management itself. And people around the world who pursue the career in project management, they have to know this change management, the steps, the ATCAR model, the organization, managing changing in organization. There are some other models and artifacts. I show you the PMBOK guides, the 7th edition, which contains references to ATCAR model, to ProSci model. I think it's a great indication, great example of what project management is dealing with on an everyday basis. Yeah. So, Julia, could you please tell us something? You've read PMBOK 8. What's the status there? I didn't read it.
That's still a commercial secret. PMBOK 8 is not there, and it's going, currently it's under construction, involving all the project management specialists all around the world. So it's like a crowdfunding, but probably crowd braining, I would say, of a new standard for project management. So we are still working on the PMBOK number 7. So thank you, Renata. That was actually a great point. And I also think that if project managers do not integrate their activities with change management, the result of the project can be just, can go to nowhere, because people will not use the result of the project. And Jaren, you are actually a very experienced change management practitioner. So have you ever had such situation when the project plan was a little bit maybe rigid or too strict and didn't have change management implied? And what did you do as a change management professional?
I mean, usually when we are working with project managers, usually we don't have time to get together earlier on. It usually happens that the changes come from top down, so everything happens very fast. The project managers jump in right away, and then we are involved like in the middle of change, but still we are able to do something to manage the people side of change. But on the other hand, like if you don't involve change management into the project plan, usually people side of change is neglected, and some part of the project, like something happens and then people call us and say, hey, something is going on here, just come and give us a remedy. How can we fix it? And usually it's too late because this project is going through the timeline and like maybe the end date is sacrificed. So people try to be very fast doing things and the change management doesn't help. So we need to be involved at the very beginning of the project to be able to apply change management, I can say.
That's true. Moreover, from my perspective, I would also add that even if we do have time as a project and change management team, change management is such a relatively new discipline that project management team might forget that they have to incorporate some, for example, training sessions from the change management perspectives into the plan, and vice versa. Change management might be working on their own plan, but at the same time forget that they need to integrate the plans together with the project management team. This is exactly what happened on my recent project in November. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. Indeed, the project management looks like it definitely sets the stage, but should definitely be complemented and integrated with the change management. Okay, then I have another question for you, Jaren. Maybe as a change management person with a rich background, you can also maybe be more practical and tell how change management, vice versa, can influence the project management activities.
That's a good question. Like I can say before if the project management starts everything, change management can have like a stakeholder analysis. Like doing analysis is a huge part of change management. We analyze things and then we give information to the all stakeholders plus project management plus top management, so that they're able to understand who are the key influencers in this project, what are the potential resistance like parts that can appear throughout the way. And we can also deliver valuable insights to the project team on the risks that might be shown and they may not be able to see, because people, when we are dealing with people, risks are there, but you're not able to see them always. So I can say these are the things that we can add to the project management timeline and to their work.
Yeah, that's actually very nicely said. Especially the risk management is really valuable because being like I have been a project manager myself, and like even in my practice, when I am as a project manager planning the risks for the project, I used to be and still am more focused on technical part of the project. But as already was said by all of us, the project result will not be used if we do not count for risks that are related to human part of the change. So that's a very nice highlight, Jaren, and thank you for that. So Einar, do you have any maybe practical experience from your job, from your daily routine of how change management can help project managers?
Yeah, I have. Today I wrote a blog post on LinkedIn about this case. You know this case. It was a couple of years ago. We have consulted an auto dealership. So they sell cars. They were building a big building. We have recommended them to have a stakeholder register, risk register, project plan, etc. But they were not happy with our consultancy. They were feeling that it's superfluous documents which held them back from doing business. So they ignored us, but the project was successful, and we were recommending change management also with the neighbors, because there was the residential complex. There was neighboring, I think 16 stories building where a lot of people are living. And fast forward 6 months after we left, after we finished our consultancy, they start building the second part of the building across the street, which happens to be located under the windows of this residential complex. And after some time, I see the news that it was cancelled, and the plot, the land were forcibly, by the decision of the law court, they were it was took from them, from the client, and we found out what happened, because the residential complex were the people in this residential complex were promised to have a nice parking zone. Instead of that, they broke their promise. They started to build a new building, and they just go to the court and they won, and the project was cancelled, and there was a loss, financial and reputation also have suffered. And I think if they listen to us, it might be a different case if they have a change manager on the board, which is peanuts comparing to the cost of the land they were forcibly the land they have lost, the cost of the court services, court fees. So I think they have learned their lesson, I hope. But it's a real case, maybe not, but this is a real case where change manager might be very, very helpful. And yeah, that's my story.
Wow, that's actually a terrific example how change management as a adding profession can finally end up in real people lives. So that, for example, the example that you are drawing really demonstrates us that if the company would implement new project management or advanced project management methods together with the change management, supported by the change management, then they could have saved so much money, so much nerves, and also people would be like the stakeholders of the surrounding area could be even happier. And all that thanks to interaction between the change management and project management.
Yes,
Well,
I even know the person who did that. It was in this residential complex. There was one active woman, which everybody knows her. So instead of working with all the stakeholders, you just have to target one person. You have to promise something. You have to negotiate. You have to include them in the decision-making process. And one person matters. In one person can just demolish your project.
yeah, actually, in our change management practice, that's one of the life hacks, right, Julian, to communicate with those people who are like the most active people during the change.
Yeah, definitely. Like we usually call them change agents, but it's like it doesn't have to be the agent's part. They are the people who have influence on the big chunks of people, big parts of people. So they are able to influence them and convince them to what you are trying to change. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, thanks for that. And so if we are talking about communication with people, let's dive deeper into collaboration part. Like, Jiren, how do you think, how would a truly integrated collaboration look like when we talk about project managers and change managers?
Here, as you all said, as we all talked about, people want to learn where the company is going to. So it's the vision. So there can be big, compelling vision where people will be drawn to, and then people will be willing to work on that project and change something in their work life, in their life. And so when it's like to be able to have a common understanding of the goals by everyone. So project management and change management will be like working on the goals and success metrics of the project together. This will help that the whole project is people focused because change management is there and they will be advocating on people part of the change, where the project management is there and they will be advocating on the technical part and milestones and timeline of the project, I can say. So when they work together, then the project will be on time and the outcome will be more like towards the goal it was already planned before the project even started, I can say.
Yeah, that's true. That's really true. Yeah, collaboration first, the earlier the better. Of course, as you said, in practice, we don't always have this opportunity to collaborate earlier,
Yeah.
but at least at the right time.
Yes.
Thanks. And Ernar, I know that you are a huge fan of different kind of tools like dashboards and stuff like that. So could you please elaborate more maybe on some shared tools for project and change management teams?
Actually, yeah, Power BI is my weapon of choice when dealing with dashboards. It's very versatile tool. But the most important, I think, is to include people in the loop, include the milestone change management milestone into project management plan, into schedule, to include decision makers, change agents into the decision making process. I think it's a great thing to have some sharing tools to inform of the status, but involving them into decision making is much more important, right?
That's true. When people feel they are involved, they are kind of more dedicated, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks for sharing. So yeah, and now I would like to move on to some very hot topic, which is exactly the issues, right? How do we resolve the issues collaboratively? For example, I am monitoring one big company in Kazakhstan, and they do have the change management discipline. They do hire change managers, but those change managers say that project managers always neglect the importance of change management activities because there are very tight deadlines for the project. So, Jaren, maybe you would be the first one to comment. For example, how do we deal when the deadlines are very tight? What we are doing?
So there maybe change management can give some different views of the project and how it's viewed by the people who are like involved in it. For example, the people, especially the stakeholders, when they have a solid plan, especially top management, I know they like it and they would like to stick to it, and they usually tighten the deadline even more to make it happen in a shorter period of time. But this also needs to be agile, not in the way of agile working, but in the way of mindset. So you need to be resilient on one side, but you need to be also elastic, I can say, in terms of your ideas. You need to change the dates, change the methods, change the way you approach to be able to fit the deadline, again, to reach the deadline on the time, but then not upset people who are affected by the change. So this is, I think, the most important thing that change management can put inside a project, in like the people side of change and its perspective, I can say, to be agile, to be elastic, to be flexible, and to show different ways, not to upset people who are involved to the project, but also to be on the time when there is critical milestones, I can say.
That's very nicely said. Actually, based on recent PMI investigation, and I would say research, the project management community has come to the point where the understanding of project success does not involve deadlines anymore. I don't know where it all is going. We will see. But this is what I saw like a couple of months ago, published by Pierre Leman, who is the CEO of PMI. So actually talking about the project side, Erna, how would you resolve this issue if we are having tight deadlines? Do you have anything to add to this?
Yeah, I agree with Jeren. We have to be flexible, agile. Yeah, the answer is agile. Project management is not really strict, is not really forced to follow certain deadlines. We are more flexible right now, and it's a question of priorities. Priority, I think, in the initial stage from the project charter or team chart, we have to set priorities the correct way. For example, we can say that customer satisfaction is more important than meeting the deadline, which will be our strategy when such collisions would happen. Yeah. So priorities is the answer.
Yeah.
Very nicely stated, I think. Well, thanks. I think we are closing to almost the end of our episode number 8 about change management. And this has been really like a thought-provoking discussion. And actually, before we wrap up, guys, I would like to share some final takeaways with our audience. So if you are asked about one thing that you would like listeners to remember from today's podcast, what would it be? Maybe, Jeren, you can share.
I can say try to involve change managers as early as possible when the project is decided. And then let's work together with project managers to be able to finish it in the way it's already planned, I can say, to have the success.
Completely agree. Don't forget about change managers. We are here.
Yes.
And Ernar, what's your take on this final takeaway?
Yeah, to summarize, a bottom line is you are not only project manager, you have to be a change management partially. This is stated in the standard of project management by PMI, so you cannot say that it's not my business, it's not my job. Change management is your also job. But if you have a luxury to have external change manager, professional change manager so use it and don't block their ideas.
Very interesting stated. Yeah, completely agree. Exactly. So thank you. I think this episode has been a nice one. And thank you, dear Jeren and Ernar, for sharing your insights for this episode. This is already the second episode that is dedicated to interaction between project managers and change managers. And this is a very important topic to take away to your practice. So if you liked our episode, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And thank you, Jeren and Ernar, and I think we'll see each other on the next episode. So let us wait for that.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much,
both.
guys.
Thank you, everyone who listened. Bye-bye.